Hi guys, my name is Ruhaan and today topic is how to lead in uncertainty. So start our topic. Three steps to go from a reactive market taker to shaping your future as a market maker. 17-minute read. Published May 23, 2025. Table of contents. Market taker or market maker, which one will be? You be one terrific issues and prioritize, adapt a decision making process, refresh your strategic plan. Unpredictability of US tariffs has thrown a wrench into the plans of Canadian entrepreneurs, especially those in sectors that have long relied on stable cross-border trade. How do you set prices, invest, and make plans for the future in the minds of this uncertainty? A potential economic slowdown only adds to the indecision many entrepreneurs are experiencing. How do you lead when you don't know what comes next? When under stress, it's common for entrepreneurs to fall into bad habits, losing focus, second guessing themselves and their team, and micro managing. It's natural to want to grab the wheel tightly. But success rarely comes from trying to do it all yourself. In fact, the current environment might be the best time to do the opposite, step back from firefighting mode and take a hard look at how your business is run. You might find opportunities to grow your company and yourself as a leader. Market makers proactively shape their own outcomes. They constantly look for new opportunities and search out new perspectives. When the economy goes sideways or uncertainties increase as inevitably, will these companies have the greatest chance of not just surviving but thriving? Market taker or market maker, which one will you be? I worked for many years in tournament management, helping struggling businesses deal with the downturns. I've also worked for over 20 years with high impact firms, identifying what they commonly to do success in good times and bad. Throughout these experiences, I found that most businesses fall into two categories: market takers and market makers. Market takers bob along in the economic current, reacting to changes and taking what the market gives them for better or worse. Market makers, on the other hand, proactively shape their own outcomes. They constantly look for new opportunities and search out new perspectives. When the economic use sideways or uncertainties increase, as invariably will these companies have the greatest chance of not just surviving but thriving. How do you go from market taker to market maker? Well, there are no easy answers. The three steps below can put you on the right path and give you ideas to build a more resilient businesses. Take issues and prioritize. The immediate reaction of CEOs in times of uncertainty is often to cry the tackle everything themselves. This can lead to a loss of focus and independent handwidth for the complex issues that truly require leadership attention. Entrepreneurs in this situation can benefit from a concept used in hospitals. Think of your business as an emergency department. Patients how show up at all hours, but not all of them need immediate attention. Any raw knows instead the same purity level as internal bleeding. In your business, issues are like patients. You can define each one in terms of its complexity and urgency. Then Teriak by delegating simple issues to managers will reserving the most complex for yourself or your executive team. Teriak helps ensure that the right person deals with the right issue at the right time with the right resources. Adopt our decision making process. Teriak only works if you can delegate tasks with confidence. That requires a team capable of making good decisions, and that in turn requires a decision making process your team can use and trust. You be surprised how few entrepreneurs take the time to establish a decision making process for their team. Without one, is it any wonder that managers are paralyzed by indecision and acquiesces from will processes break down? Such indecision is only exacerbated in times of great uncertainty. Market makers impart a decision making framework to managers and show them on how to use it. When you empower your team, your decision making skills also expand as you better able to reserve time for more critical challenges. Will you confidently delegate everything else? One example of our decision making process is the observe, oriented, decide, and act order loop developed by US Air Force Colonel John Beard. It's not necessarily the ones you need to implement in your business, but it's a good example. The observe, orient, decide, the act, and act OODA decision making process. The table below breaks down the four steps of the OODA process. Observe. Gather information quickly, collect an internal and external data, finance, operations, competitive landscape. Orient. Make sense of the information to spot errors in thinking. Orient to take advantage of these gaps. Act. Implement your decision, implement fully or test your hypothesis. Decide. Decide which of the options to select. Source. A strategy for fighter pilots developed by Paul John Baird, U.S. Air Force. To make good decisions in the face of uncertainty, it's important to ensure that you are constantly getting new insights, information, perspectives, and opinions. This leads to better understanding more options and help you spot error in your thinking. If the same people are always helping you make decisions regardless of the problem, you are not challenging yourself with new information and viewpoints. Stress can change your approach. Another feature of OODA is that it is a process, a scalable and repeatable cycle of steps. This brings clarity and minimizes choose and uncertainty. This helps you make decisions because it allows you to observe, orient, decide, and act despite the stress of the situation. A lot of entrepreneurs are very efficient at running their businesses at in normal times but completely change their style when they come under stress. That's because they don't have a system in place to organize their thinking and steady their focus. This leads to mistake which can anger the company. The next time you need to make a decision, ask yourself, did I gather all the necessary information, and am I structuring that information and taking in a variety of perspectives and opinions about what it means? Then take action, and once a plan is implemented, keep track of the results to feed more new data into your process do you so you can make the decision next decision. Refresh your strategic plan. The third tip I have for you is to refresh your strategic plan. Pay special attention to any updates needed for your SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats due to changes in global trends or industry shifts. It's time to go beyond simply for fretting about tariffs or a possible slowdown. Quantify the risk for your businesses, then develop risk mitigation strategies, game them out by creating financial projections. For example, if you are wondering whether to reduce prices to offset tariffs, modeling many show that you are better off observing a reduction in sales, as we found in an interesting BDC exercise involving a hypothetical case. See tables below. Scenario 1 is scenario 2. Assumption: 10% reduction in sales volume, 10% reduction in sales price. Effect on US gross margin: 3.5% minus 10%. Impact on US sales in US: 10% reduction in sales volume will result in a 3.5% reduction of your gross margin on your US sales because of the exchange rate. This will lead to a shortfall in your cash balance in Canada. The table also shows that the 10% reduction in sales will have a much lower impact on your cash flow than a reduction of your sales price, resulting in a impact on your cash flow. That's the 8 techniques to build a positive attitude in certain times. Believe there is always a way out. If you don't believe there is an opportunity, no one else will. If you think you are demand you will be. Keep an open mind. This is about being willing to adapt to new demands and needs, and being willing to consider all options even if you have tried something before they stay open to brainstorming and building open ideas as opposed to shooting ideas down. Take control of your future rather than accepting your situation. Take control and owns your situation. If you ingrain it in your head that you are in control, then you will be able to take responsibility for your future and be the master of your own destiny. Know your core competencies. Know what you were truly good at. Think of these capabilities are transferable skills. This will help you envision how you can leverage these skills in a different situation. Consider what big levers have changed in the world. Think about the impacts of the changes on the supply chain, what your customers need and want, how your consumers work and living habits have changed, and ultimately how these big levers have affected your range of opportunity. Look at the situation from various perspectives. If you look at the situation from the same perspective as everyone else, chances are you will see only what they see. If you look at the situation from your customers or suppliers' perspectives, you might spot something different and maybe an opportunity. Don't be afraid to be a contrarian. If everyone else zigs, you can zag. If everyone is abandoning a product or service, maybe opportunity comes to do so. Who stays? If you want different results from others, don't do the same thing. By having the right attitude, you be better able to protect the confidences your team looks to you for. This will help them excel and make more good decisions. Investing in your team, your process, and your own leadership will help you build a company that can think under pressure. The businesses doing this are more likely to not only survive the this moment but to come out ahead. BDC is here to help. Our experts can help you build a more resilient data driven company. Don't hesitate to contact us to get personalized advice for your business. So, friends, my topic is complete. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.